collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys TMS-04 of the Punisher from Season 2 of Marvel's Daredevil. For the package, you got a really cool image of the Punisher right there in the front, and much like the Punisher figure, you have this really cool braille text right here, which when you do translate that, it actually does say the Punisher, which is a terrific, very small, minute detail that I love that they put on these. Just gives something a little bit different to the package. I'm really impressed with it. The side here, it says the Punisher. It also has the braille there. That side, it's upside down, but it does say the same thing. The top section here says Marvel, Daredevil, the Punisher, blah, 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 blah. On the back of the package, you got various warnings, contact information, barcodes, things I can't read, all that kind of stuff. And then it is a slip sleeve cover, so when you lift it up, just like so, the back of the package has a cast and the crew responsible for making them. And then you can see, much like that Daredevil, it looks like paintbrushes, and then towards the bottom here you actually see the beginnings of the Punisher's skull logo, which is terrific. You come around to the front and you do have that open window that fully showcases the figure as well as all of his accessories, and I like how the window is actually also in the shape of the Punisher skull. That's really cool. Another fairly prominent character in the Marvel Universe, the Netflix TV series has done a really great job of capturing the Punisher. But how does Hot Toys do when it comes to capturing the character in terms of figure form? So without further ado, let's get this guy out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Punisher open up and out of his packaging. And starting off first, much like all figures, let's take a look at his accessories. And you can see that he comes with a decent amount. In addition to the two relaxed hands that are currently on him, he gets both a right and left pair of fisted hands. As you can see, just standard, flesh tone kind of hands, no gloves or anything like that. You get another pair of hands that are a little bit more open, kind of grasping. Something that would come in handy with such things as like this little knife right there. He also gets a pair of gesturing hands that are completely open, for some more dynamic pushing poses, I guess. And then you get a pair of right and left hands that are more in a trigger finger sort of thing. Obviously, he comes with some weapons, so these are much needed hands to have. Also, as always, I forgot to mention this, he does come with his instruction sheet. Really not much in there. The one thing that I do want to make sure that I point out is it does show how to put on his black leather-like coat, how to equip the minigun with his ammo belt, and then how the sniper rifle kind of works. The other thing is that he does come with a Daredevil helmet that I do want to specifically say is not designed to be worn on any other head sculpts. That's something that some people have complained about, and get into that right now. As you can see, this is that head sculpt, or well, I shouldn't say head sculpt, a helmet for Daredevil. As you can see, this is the helmet that is more designed to replicate how Daredevil's helmet and kind of his suit in general looked at the beginning of Season 2 and towards the end of Season 1. The biggest difference that you're seeing is the black section here. Obviously, you still have the absolute gorgeous, I love the red eyes on there, but you can see that it's cracked. In fighting with the Punisher, that's where that came from. And then it was changed to have that all red look. But absolutely gorgeous. The unfortunate thing is, you can see you got an empty section right in here. This doesn't fit on the Daredevil figure though, and that's kind of unfortunate. A lot of people thought that you would be able to swap this out, and I think that Hot Toys did miss the mark on including something like that, but for whatever reason, they didn't do it. Now, bringing in Daredevil, setting him, I'm just gonna set him right over meow like so. You can see that the bottom section here, well, it's kind of dark, but you can kind of, oh, there we go. You can see that it's got this little square hole section here. This doesn't have it. The thing is, though, in looking at it, you would almost think that it would fit, but this is definitely wider. So coming here to take a look at good old Matt Murdock and angling up, this is kind of like a two-part review. I'm covering something for Daredevil here. You can see though that this piece here is too wide. Now you can just, if you, well, you can knock that off. It's unfortunately it's just too wide here. You can spread this out and stretch it, and put it down, but you can see that the outer section here just doesn't fit, and you can't really get it down. It's much too wide here for the actual helmet. So this is unfortunately the only helmet that will work with this. You can't use this, but you can see the slight evolution here. I mean, these have a much longer and pointier horn section. You can see I do actually kind of like the black in here, but I do like the red for the main section. But obviously, like I said, this has the crack on there that good old Punisher, well, it doesn't want to focus on it. No, not gonna work. But that's an accessory that you get with this guy that I guess you could have included with Daredevil himself. It doesn't bother me because, like I said, I knew I was going to get this guy, so I knew I was always going to get this, but I do wish this had some of that actual cross-play kind of thing. So you do have that. I forgot to mention, you do get a couple extra wrist pegs. You do get some extra buttons, as he does have a lot of buttons on his little belt and kind of pouches and such, so getting that off to the side. He also does come with a really large Bowie knife, or just, I don't even know what this is actually called, but really nice looking nonetheless. If my camera will focus, there we go. You can see a nice silver section down here for the blade. Got a nice black matte paint on the rest of it. You got some simple brown paint for the straps. He does come with a little holster thing for it. The thing is, I don't know where you can actually put it. I mean, there's a little slot right here. So like you could slide that through his belt. So you put this down. Get that, there we go. Get that down like that. You have a little section right here with a magnetic little clasp. You got a section right here, and then that section that when you put that around, it does kind of grab it. It just sits right there. But there's, I mean, I guess you could kind of say that like maybe on the back here, if you could get to this, and I don't know honestly how you could. I don't see how you remove anything on him. But I guess you could maybe somehow strap it on there. That's one aspect that is kind of unfortunate. There's not really storage for it. Same can be said with his, get him to stand, with his handgun, which is a nice handgun, silver paint. You got some black on there. You have the little chamber right here that can rotate down, has some nice bronze and gold painted on there for bullets. So you do have him with a gun, which has a really large barrel here. I don't know if that's like a custom kind of thing, but that, come on, focus. There we go. I mean, that really does look much larger than a regular handgun. I don't know anything about handguns, so that's kind of interesting. But there's also not a place for this anywhere on him. He doesn't have a little holster for it. So, I mean, again, you got these little straps here in the back that you could probably tuck it under, but I don't particularly like how that works. So that's a little unfortunate in terms of the kind of integration into his outfit. Now, I can't complain too terribly much because that is fairly accurate. We didn't really see where either of these were put on the body. So there are accessories that he used and we saw, but no real, involvement in the outfit. Now it actually does come with a very awesome sniper rifle. Now this is the one I believe that he used when he was helping out Daredevil. You can see this whole section, if you wanted to, can slide all the way off. It's just on a little rail thing right there, so you can put that all the way back on. Like go like that. So great detail on the entire thing. One thing that is really cool about it, you do have this little cocking mechanism right here that you can move forward and back. Also kind of interesting is that this piece here folds. You can rotate this around and it kind of collapses right there to create a little bit smaller of a gun. I don't know if that's, like a storage thing or what, but like I said, I do believe this is the gun that he used when he was helping Daredevil shoot some bad guys while Daredevil was fighting them all hand to hand. You can remove the big giant section. You got a nice bronzish gold color for the bullet right there. You can plug that right back up
well, maybe right up there like so. Absolutely gorgeous, subtle difference in terms of the paint, like the silver and things, and then I really like how that actually looks as well. Also, his minigun. This is it, and this is really quite massive. You can see a lot of really cool detail. It doesn't spin. Oh no, it actually does spin. I didn't think it spun, but yeah, it does actually spin. That's kind of cool. Got a little section down here. Again, I don't know what anything with guns does or anything, so it's crazy to me. You do have a little section right here, so you have little prongs that are here that fit into little holes here. So you just take this, and I think it goes like this. You just take this and you plug these in. I kind of like that instead of feeding it into, the inside section. So you just fit that in like so, and then you can drape this over his shoulder. We saw this, I think, in one of the last scenes that we saw with the Punisher. This was exposed. It didn't come out anywhere. He was just kind of walking with it, and this was up around his shoulder. So that's fairly accurate and cool looking. You can see this is a nice flexible material. Good paint detail on there as well, though, with some nice bronze and silver and everything. But overall, massive gun. This is definitely something that you would envision the Punisher walking around with. I do kind of wish that he came with a few more guns. We did see him use things like shotguns and things like that. So while we do get, 3 guns in a knife form, I think that is decent and it works for display, but I don't know. I kind of wish he came with more. I'm fairly greedy when it comes to that. He also does come with what they say is his leather-like jacket. I don't know if it's actually leather. They do a really good job of doing imitation leather, but you can see really very nice. You got nice wrinkles and everything throughout it. Down here on the bottom, there's actually a wire, so you can flex that around. I don't think there's wires anywhere else. I don't feel anything, but you can get some really cool kind of, flowing kind of fabric material poses or something like that. I don't know. But for this, all you do is you take the hands off, you slip it in as you would a regular pair of clothes. So we'll take a look at that in a bit. Now, we also do get this display stand. This has had some reviewers kind of criticizing it. It doesn't bother me really that much. It is, from what I can tell, the exact same stand that we got with the Punisher. You got that nice kind of matte cement look down here. You got some really nice glossy sections right here that kind of give a wet look. And then, of course, you have the adjustable cradle. You also have the name, Marvel's Daredevil. Really nice detail in there. You got like a little water tower there and the nice skyline. But you can see it doesn't say Punisher. Now, people have complained because they just reuse this. Well, Hot Toys has reused stands ever since I can remember. It is a little unfortunate that they didn't change this, because as you can see, it can pop off. So you didn't even need to really do anything with this, but you could have changed the nameplate, I think, to say Marvel's Daredevil and then underneath the Punisher. That is something that people have criticized on this. It doesn't bother me really that much, but I can see where that is being, a negative attribute to the overall display stand. They could have easily done it because, as I said, it's removable. So I don't know why they couldn't have changed that. But then you also do get this really nice backdrop, which I like actually a lot more than the one that came with Daredevil. As you can see, it's like the alleyway of sorts. You can see a nice street section right down there, and then it goes back. You got the stairs and everything. This, though, does look a lot better than the one that comes with the Daredevil in terms of recreating just an overall display. Whereas the other one had like a building thing here in the back and then was in the middle of a street. This one, I think, works better. It's more generic. I mean, especially when you take a look at the fact that down here on the bottom where it would be... Come on, Frank. What are you doing? You're falling here, buddy. Don't get drunk. You can see that you got like wet spots down here, which works very nicely with what they're trying to recreate here. So I do like this setup a whole lot more. I think it just looks a little bit better. But for his accessories, that's really everything. I guess you could kind of say that he has his jacket or tech armor thing with obviously the Punisher logo right there, but that doesn't really remove, so it's not much of an accessory. It's just part of his outfit. But for what he comes with, I am fairly happy. I do wish he came with some extra guns because it's the Punisher, but I really do like what we have. And then coming in to take a closer look at the figure, again, Hot Toys has done an amazing job of recreating the likeness. I don't know the actor's name, but I really think this does a really good job of capturing it. Also, I love the detail there with the kind of gouge underneath his eye. You can see a lot of swelling kind of almost around it. Although, I mean, it does kind of look like it's the exact same sculpt from side to side, but it just looks puffy, doesn't it? And then I like the extra red around it, giving it a very realistic look. You can see nice stubble coming down here. I like his hair, how it's got that fade kind of going through the side areas, and then you get more of the hair down there. One thing that is interesting is you look, and it's like they even sculpted in textural detail in his neck. And I've seen it many times before, but for some reason like this one, it just really stands out. You have a very nice skin texture on his neck, as well as nice definition of the muscle. I mean, you can almost see like veins, like right here, you can kind of see like a vein that's popping out. Really quite impressive. Looking at the rest of the body armor, you can see that this is like a little tactical suit, but you can see the obvious image of the Punisher's logo right there, which again, I love that look. It's worn, it's faded. Honestly, kind of gives an impression that he wants that look, but really doesn't care too much about it being perfect, which is nice. You can see all these little pouches and everything throughout there which would hold bullets. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't come with anything to fill those little pouches in. And like I said, looking around here, there's not really any place that you could store any of the additional weapons. So it is a little unfortunate. And then these little straps here kind of go through these loops. This one, as you can see, is kind of come out, but there's the loop right there that I would just have to put that in. You got some nice tactical looking pants with the cargo pockets and things like that. And then coming down to take a look at his boots, much like what they've done with several figures recently, most recently, obviously the Daredevil one, you can see that it's designed to look like one boot, but it's actually two separate pieces so that you get a full range of articulation in that ankle, which is great. So obviously you can have that look, kind of tuck that down, and it really does allow you to create that illusion that it's all one piece. Obviously it does get a little broken up looking as the sculpt doesn't completely go through, but really great detail, nice kind of texture and some dirt on the underside of the foot. Overall, really terrific looking figure. I am quite impressed with how this guy turned out as well. I really am a fan of the Punisher series, or the Punisher character, I should say. And the series is due out. We don't have, I don't believe, an actual concrete date, but the time people are kind of floating around is November 17th. So hopefully that's coming up and we'll get to see this guy. Now for his articulation, the head at the top section is on a nice ball joint, so you can get it looking left and right just like so. Rotates obviously all the way around, looks up about that far, looks down about that far. Nothing at the lower neck section though, I don't think. This feels like it's all one molded body, and it's not overly bulky. It's a fairly thin body which fits the character. The shoulders do rotate all the way around. The undershirt here is very stretchy, so there is no restriction. Obviously it's a short sleeve shirt, so it's not going to be too restrictive anyhow. They went with a single joint for the elbow, but you do just have that one joint, obviously, because he's got the exposed arms down here. They're going to minimize the joints, so they just put the one in there. You do have the wrist that rotates. You can hinge and you can shake his hand, all that kind of stuff. You do get a rotation here. You can see that the jacket here does have a separate section from the pants, so the rotation is about that. You do get a little bit of a bend about that far, and then he can go back about yay far. So pretty decent range of the motion in the torso. The hips move forward and back, but when you do it, it does tend to pull the pants out from underneath his boot, so you will have to tuck that back in. They move in and out nicely. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He does have 2 joints here at the knee, but again, when you do it, that ends up coming up, and that does look a little bit ugly, but you can fix it fairly easily. What you do, come down here, you can see the ankle does have that full ball joint. Go ahead, slide that down, and I'm going to show you how to fix this. Just kind of take that, put that down like so, kind of roll that around, and then take this and just feed that right back up in there. I kind of like leaving it a little bit baggy so that it kind of looks like he tucked them in there, and then take that and get that on there just like that. Fit that down. Let's see, get that, come on, there you go. So you can fix that up, and like I said, I like leaving it a little bit baggy, just kind of looks like he woke up quick, had to throw his pants on, had to throw his little boots on, and away he went. Now, to complete the look, I mean, this looks good, I don't mind it, but I really love the look of the Punisher with this jacket on. So the best way to do it, obviously, I'm going to come here, I'm going to take out his little hands. It makes it just a little bit easier. Kind of put this back like so, and then you just feed his arms through the jacket all the way, just like so, and then again replace the hands in there just like that. And this is a much cooler, in my mind, a more Punisher look form, a little bit more iconic looking, I think. You do have to futz with it a little to kind of get everything fitting his body properly and looking good. But when you're done, like I said, you get a really cool look for him. Kind of pop his collar a little bit here. And just something like that. Yeah. That's the way you do it. Play the guitar on the MTV. And when you're done, there you have them. And you got money for nothing in your chicks for free.
Overall, though, another really fun release from Hot Toys. Of the various characters that have appeared in the different Netflix series, Daredevil and the Punisher are really 2 of my personal favorites. And I'm absolutely thrilled that Hot Toys has decided to visit both of them. The only other figure that I would really like for him to do would be none other than the Kingpin himself. But so far, 2 out of 3 is pretty good. For this guy's accessories, while I do wish he had more, just because the character Punisher, I always think of having basically an arsenal. What this guy comes with is actually pretty decent. You get a few guns, you get a knife, all of which are fairly specific to the character as he appears in the Netflix series itself. And while I really do like the additional Daredevil helmet that you get, I do wish that there was some kind of cross-play with it. Obviously, you can use it with Punisher, but I would really like it if you could use that on the Daredevil figure itself. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but I just think they missed an opportunity to have that crossplay. As for the figure, I think the likeness is really very good. I think it does a nice job of capturing the look of the actor. And then as usual, Hot Toys has done a phenomenal job of recreating the outfit, especially that very iconic Punisher logo on his vest. That really turned out great. As I said, the Punisher is one of my favorite characters in all the new series, and there was never really any doubt in my mind that I was going to pick him up. I'm just glad that he turned out as well as he did. So if you're a fan of Daredevil or even the Punisher, this guy would be a great addition to your collection. I don't know if Hot Toys is going to do an actual Punisher series version of this guy, but I think regardless, this does a great job of filling that void. So all that being said, if this is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Hot Toys 1/6 scale figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, please let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would absolutely appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to make sure that you never miss a future review of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.